Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, back at you again with another wrestling review. What we got today is the Hell in a Cell review match. And guys, this was Hell in a Cell of the decade, Hell of the year. I mean, we had the tag team title match, which was amazing. I thought that was probably match of the year 2017 so far. We also had the Hell in a Cell match between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. Wait a second. Oh, we had the Rusev versus Orton match. Oh. AJ versus Baron versus Ty. Okay. Natty versus Charlotte. Fashion Police. Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura. Well, okay. I lied. So it wasn't the best Hell in a Cell ever. I don't think it would be. Maybe it's since coming back to watching WWE in 2013, it's probably the best one I've seen. But let's just keep discussing on what is going to be going on here in this review. And remember, guys, this is the Fusion Corp channel where we do Dragon Ball reviews, we do FIFA content, we do gimmick casts. Remember to check out our latest gimmick cast about the iDubbbz incident. But let's get started on this review, guys. It was a little bit of a joke at the beginning. Not sure if it was funny or not. I just wanted to try something new. But the thing I was really serious about, though, was the first match, and that was the tag team title match between the Usos and the New Day. And my God, that was match of the night. It's tough because I think the last match was also really good and had like an amazing, crazy turn and twist that I'm going to have to say that this one, in terms of like pure wrestling standpoint, was probably match of the night, only because it had like actual wrestlers and not like a dude that's like a commissioner. But let's just get started into it. So what it started off with was a Big E and Xavier Woods were the two opponents against the Usos. Everyone was assuming that was going to be Kofi Kingston. It usually is Kofi, but we found out that it's not Kofi this time. It's Xavier Woods. And I think Xavier Woods is extremely underrated as a wrestler. I think he can sell the hell out of stuff, and I think he's also a great worker. So, I was excited to see him. We don't really see him that much, but when we do see him, he actually does really well. He's kind of almost like a part-timer in the New Day group itself. Like, you expect him, when he comes out, you don't expect very much, but when he does it, it's just, like, amazing. Anyway, what we got was just a lot of new instruments came out. Francesca 3, I believe, is the newest member of the New Day family. Congrats to Francesca 3 for coming into this world. We wish you all the best. But let's get serious, guys, for a second. So, a lot of weapons came out. This match revolved a lot around the kendo stick, and you're going to find out later in this review why the kendo stick mattered so much in this tag team title match. But, it was a great match. I mean, I think they've topped themselves since like the SummerSlam, since the pre-show, the Las Vegas Sin City street fight. I mean, it was just amazing, dude. Like, I couldn't believe it. I can't believe that this is like, we kind of sighed and moaned at it because, it's the New Day. We're getting a little bit tired of them. But they knew how to reinvent themselves and re-innovate. That between them and the Usos, I mean, these are the two top-tier teams. Although to the detriment of the other teams in the division, I think hopefully someone will get built up, and maybe there might be a new tag team that formed tonight. I'm not sure, guys, but we'll see later. Anyway, guys, so I think the craziest spot in this match, in my opinion, was the fact that they trapped Jey Uso with like 3 or 4 kendo sticks at the corners of each, the corner of the Hell in the Cell. So they would trap Jey and like using 4 or 5 kendo sticks through his neck, through his like body, and then through his legs. And I thought that was like genius because I feel like that spot has never been done before to an extent where it looks like he's like trapped completely. I don't know who came up with that spot, but kudos to that person, whether it was backstage official or whether it was Xavier Woods and the New Day gang or even the Usos, because I'm sure those guys collaborated well together. But I mean, just a crazy thing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then it just kind of was a little bit weird to me. Not weird, but it just felt like the New Day was very dark. They're very serious. The Usos have this serious tone to them. The New Day, they've been a little bit childish. They've been selling underwear. They've been doing all that kind of stuff to kind of promote their own brand. But when it got down to it, the New Day were actually really kind of aggressive with it. They were really fighting each other. It was awesome to see that because, usually when we associate the New Day, we associate comedy, we associate catchphrases. everything, you know, that's kind of corny and cheesy, although they do it very well, so it doesn't seem that way. But, you know, today was just a different tag team that I don't believe we've ever seen before since probably their heel days. But, you know, there's a couple spots where the Usos also got some pretty big offense on the New Day, especially the one where they double splashed the Big E, but it just couldn't finish him. It was ridiculous. And then Xavier Woods barely just looking like Simba to Mufasa, trying to move his body. You know, Xavier Woods just kind of nudges one of the Usos, I can't remember which one, nods him off the pin count, and it was incredible how much they put their body on the line and how exciting and believable this match was. I mean, this was just something I knew that this match was hype going into it, and you know, you don't want to fall for the hype train where you feel like it's going to be just the same old, but my God, dude, like they really sold the hell out of the match. They knew each spot. The match lived up to the hype and more, I think, in my opinion. I believe, and I think I said it in my joke earlier, if I didn't say it now, I believe that this is probably tag team match of the year so far in 2017. You know, Sheamus and Cesaro was another good one with Seth Ambrose and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. But, you know, it was just a very, very gruesome match, very fitting of the Hell in a Cell, and they used that stipulation so well, guys. I mean, this match, which kind of sucked because it was at the beginning of the show, so of course it was going to suck the life out of the crowd when it went to the next match, which we'll get into in a little bit, but, you know, it was just a crazy thing to see. The Usos got some cuffs out. They cuffed Xavier Woods to the ring post, and then they started just beating him with the kendo sticks right in front of Kofi. I mean, it just looked so brutal. It looked like one of those, like, movie scenes where you just see, like, the innocent hero looking by as his friend is just getting beat the hell out of by just these two, we'll call them thugs because, you know, that's what their gimmick is with their day one-ish. But, I mean, that was just honestly unbelievable. I mean, I love the way that the psychology of it was with the Usos going really hard at the New Day, and then the New Day, of course, having to stoop to the level of the Usos by being this kind of brute force, strong team that will do anything to win no matter what. So I really enjoyed that match, and let's just get to the finish so far because, I mean, I'm going to be going on quite a bit of a rant later in this episode review, and basically they placed a chair under Big E, a double splash again, 1, 2, 3. The Usos are now your new tag team champions, which I predicted in our previews and predictions show, and we'll see where it goes from here. I'm hoping that maybe some babyface team comes in and just kind of challenges them, that we can make them credible. I'm curious to see how they're going to determine who the number one contender is going to be, but we'll find out very, very soon. And the next match we had, which will be tough to follow, and it also pisses me off a lot, which was the Rusev versus Randy Orton match. It was just, oh man, it was just like the other two matches, just very boring, not anything very like fun in particular, very mediocre at best. I mean, it was just nothing I really wanted to see there. We're going to move on to the next part of this, which was, it was just kind of, like I said, it's just a very boring match, and it just kind of sucked that the result is that Randy Orton won with the RKO. It was a match that didn't really pertain and capture my attention, so I didn't really pay attention to it and take copious notes like I did with the tag team title match, because that thing was ridiculous and actually something I wanted to watch. Meanwhile, this Rusev Orton match wasn't something I wanted to watch. It was very slow and methodical at some points. And, you know, I think Rusev needs a finisher besides the Accolade. I think, although the Accolade's a very heelish move, I think he just needs one move that he could just finish people off. I don't know if it's like the spinning heel kick would be his close to signature move, not maybe finishing move. But Randy Orton wins with the RKO. Kind of sucks to see that my boy Rusev is getting shafted again. Although he's the younger star, I feel like he's more charismatic and more talented. Maybe not more talented, but definitely more charismatic than Randy Orton. So I just enjoy Rusev's work as just the way he talks on the mic, present himself as a person. I just love the way he does it. But WWE don't see it that way for some reason, so they're gonna give Randy Orton the win with the RKO. And pretty much we're going to move on to the next match, which was the U.S. title match between AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin versus Ty Dillinger, the Perfect 10, a.k.a. the Perfect Dark Match, because he pretty much lives and dies on the Dark Match. Anyway, So what this was is that, I mean, I just noticed that AJ Styles, the way that the crowd loves him, the way that he just presents himself, he's just a beast. I mean, I'm going to bring this up probably a lot about AJ Styles. I mean, this dude's, I mean, there's nothing else to be said other than this guy is just the real deal. He's someone that you could, I wish he would have been brought in a long time ago, because he's someone that you probably could have built the company around, especially with the over move like the Styles Clash and the phenomenal forearm, and even the way he's able to do the 450. I mean, he busted it out in this match, but for the first part of this match, it was really boring and just not something I wanted to see myself, at least for the first part. I think Baron Corbin is still very green, and maybe that's why the match was a little bit boring at the beginning. And another thing that kind of pissed me off in this, I mean, maybe not pissed me off, but it definitely irked me a little bit, was the fact that Ty Dillinger earlier in the pre-show, I think it was a little bit before the pre-show, before the first match between Shelton Benjamin and the Hype Bros, which I don't know if I mentioned them or not, but the Hype Bros lost to Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. But anyway, that's besides the point. You know, they've announced that Ty Dillinger was going to be in the match after he presented his evidence to Daniel Bryan, saying, hey, you know, I pinned Baron Corbin. I deserve to be in this match. You know, it was a little bit comical with them doing the reverse of the 10 chant and the yes chant. So, I mean, I don't understand why we couldn't have just done this on SmackDown, in my opinion. I mean, we could have easily done this, got it over with, and we could have predicted a little bit better, because I don't think it was fair to the prediction shows, and I think it was just a kind of cheesy way to just put Ty Dillinger in just to take the pin so you can save AJ Styles and Baron Corbin from taking a clean L. But, you know, it is what it is on that one. It was, you know, a crazy bound sequence between Ty Dillinger and the Styles Clash. You know, there was a lot of switching into the tiebreaker. Styles caught him in the Styles Clash, caught him again in the Styles Clash, and then just proceeded to roll him up into the calf crusher. Of course, he didn't tap out. And basically, this just led to Corbin stealing the pin from AJ Styles after he knocked down Ty Dillinger. To me, like, if I had to give a grade for this match, it was probably like, I said a 4 in my review, but I'm probably going to go with like a 3. You know, the last part of the match really saved it for it, but it didn't excuse the fact that this match was very boring, in my opinion. It's just not something I really want to watch. And, I don't know, man. Like, I think it would have been so much better with just a Ty Dillinger versus AJ Styles match. Would have been a lot cleaner, would have been a lot nicer, but we got this instead, and we're just going to have to live with the results here. And next match we got is going to be the women's titles match between Natalya versus Charlotte. Again, a very boring match. It just kind of sucked that you had to put these boring matches in between and after we just had like an amazing tag team match. And, you know, the crowd didn't really recover from there after that match. And basically going back to the Natalya versus Charlotte match, you know, it is what it is between those two. You're going to get a lot of submissions. Of course, you're going to get the famous moonsault by Charlotte from the ring post, which is, you know, obviously beautiful in my opinion. I think it's probably the best looking move in the WWE. Maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but, you know, I just enjoyed that move a lot, seeing as Kurt Angle was one of the fan favorites and one of a favorite of mine. Seeing him do it was just a thing of beauty. So anybody who does it gets approval from me. But I think this match would have done better without any of these people. Like, I think it would have done better with maybe like a Becky or a Naomi, just because they're athletic and they like to move around a lot. And I know they do like to move. I'm not saying Charlotte and Natalya don't like to move, but it's just a very different style of pace of match. And I felt like this was a very more slow, methodical one. And basically, this match kind of ended very lame. I mean, basically, Natalya just hit chair shots on Charlotte, and it just ended the match. I mean, what is that? That's just kind of like a cheesy cop-out win for Natalya, which is just kind of just shows that she's going to be a very big transitional champion and isn't going to be worth much going into the future, because all she does is hit you with a chair and that's it. I mean, she put you in the sharpshooter and you tapped out last time on SmackDown Live, so I don't understand why this is kind of what we got from here. I gave this match a 2 out of 10 just because it was such a lame finish. Charlotte got the win, but it was a DQ win, so, I mean, does it really count? No. Next up, what we had was a little bit of a fashion police. We had the return of their old gimmick. They've been missing for a couple months now. I mean, we were almost about to put in, where is the Fashion Police on a milk carton, and we just couldn't find them. I mean, we can't find them. They're still lost, but today we found them on Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. They did their gimmick, but it's not going to be resolved until this next Tuesday on SmackDown Live, where they're going to go with a different theme. But, I mean, it just kind of sucks because these guys are worth more than just the comical scene. I think they're awesome tag team championship material. I think Ty Dillinger, look at me, just Tyler Breeze is a very great wrestler, and I think they're underutilizing him along with Fandango, who could both easily be mid-card title holders. Easily. Like, I don't have any doubt that those guys can hold the titles, but it's just, it is what it is with that. You get a little bit of comical. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's also not good. And that's pretty much it for the Fashion Police and what we're going to talk about on here. Now, what we have here for Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura, which was the next match, was an absolute travesty. Absolutely garbage. I can't believe I wasted $10 on just this match alone. Should have been worth like a penny. I mean, it was ridiculous. First off, we get, just a very slow, methodical match. Not something I'm interested in as a fan of the product. It was just kind of boring and sloppy. Mahal isn't a very good wrestler. I don't think he knows how to take bumps correctly as some of the other wrestlers do in the brand. And I don't know if it gets to the other wrestlers that seeing that Jinder Mahal was like a jobber at one point and now is a current WWE champion for some reason. Who knows? I mean, I understand that they're going to be marketed in India, but I mean, it's like, is it worth risking your top belt for someone who is just not even on the same level as a Nakamura, as a AJ Styles? Hell, even like a John Cena, even a Roman Reigns. Like, he's not on that level. And the thing we got here was that we got boring chants on this match. We got the Singh brothers getting distracted again. Shinsuke Nakamura hit Jinder Mahal with the Kinshasa. It should have been a 1-2-3, but of course the ref was dealing with the Singh brothers. And then Jinder Mahal at the last second grabs the rope after the ref starts to finally make the count. And then basically what we got was a Jinder hit him with, I think he missed another Kinshasa, gets colossed, and basically that, he's Kinshasa, but he missed it and he hit the ring post. So, he's got an injured knee. And then Jinder Mahal comes from behind him, hits him with the Coloss, which I think many YouTubers have said is probably like one of the worst finishing moves of all time. I think it's even worse than, how can you have a finisher worse than the leg drop? I mean, the leg drop was just garbage and very generic. How it puts someone away, who knows? And like I said, it's just very sad to see that this is what we got in this match. Very frustrating, very upsetting that this was the end of the match. I mean, the Coloss, 1-2-3. Jinder Mahal wins clean. And I mean clean as a mug. I mean, this was just ridiculous how clean he won. And it really just, you saw the crowd just all of a sudden just went from cheering Nakamura's theme song just earlier in the show to absolute drained. It's like a vampire just sucked the blood right out of every single fan in that arena. It was just ridiculous, man. How did this Nakamura is not the Nakamura I knew back at NXT. This Nakamura wasn't the same Nakamura that wrestled Sami Zayn. This Nakamura wasn't the same one that wrestled Samoa Joe. I don't even recognize this Nakamura. Sticks and stones may break my bones Nakamura is the worst Nakamura of all time. He needs to be sent to NXT. Let him just run NXT because this is absolutely garbage. Road Dogg, you have some explaining to do. Vince McMahon, you have some goddamn explaining to do as to why I see Shinsuke Nakamura looking the way he does against Jinder Mahal in that goddamn match when we all knew that Jinder Mahal was just built up so quick, so fast that we just couldn't even comprehend why he was in the position that he's in, only because he's Indian, even though he's from Canada. So he's not born from there. So he has descent from India, but he's not born from there. And you're just trying to market him to the Indian people. But to me, the Indian people don't, the ones that watch wrestling, of course, don't like Jinder Mahal. They'd rather have a believable champion, someone that actually makes sense to be a champion. But instead, we get this garbage. We get this generic, boring garbage from a heel that's so bad and probably the worst match of the night. It's not even a question. It's not even a discussion. Worst match of the night, probably worst match of the year, in my opinion. This was just an absolute garbage match, and this was more atrocious than the Braun Strowman Brock Lesnar that we saw in the last pay-per-view. I can't remember the name of it right now. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm just so heated with this. I just can't believe that this is what it's come down to for Nakamura. Losing to goddamn Jinder Mahal. A dude that's not known for anything. A dude that sucks. A dude that's probably not even worth the title of the new modern-day Maharaja. He doesn't deserve that title. He doesn't deserve anything. He's just been gifted it. I mean, is it really the land of opportunities, or is it the land of, oh, based on what we're marketing and what our gimmick is for this month, we're going to put the title on someone? I think a lot of YouTubers point it and nail it right on the coffin. If you don't have your best wrestler as your champion, there's something screwed up about that. I mean, of course, you have your draw powers with your Hulk Hogan's, your Ultimate Warriors, your Roman Reigns. I mean, if you really want to put Roman Reigns in there just because he draws a mixed reaction, even though, it's just very stupid. I mean, we won't get into that in this pay-per-view per se. But, I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, hell, even Kevin Owens, dude. Kevin Owens, after this match that he had tonight, should have been WWE champion. But instead, no, we got Jinder Mahal. And what I hate about Jinder Mahal, it's not even him himself. It's just what he's done to the WWE title itself. He basically made it so it seems like it's just a second-rate title that no one really cares about. A title that, I mean, we should just treat as a mid-card to even just an accessory piece for Jinder Mahal to carry. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens at the Starrcade live event. I don't know whether or not, because they have a steel cage match, so I don't know whether or not Jinder Mahal is going to lose there. I doubt it. I don't know if this is a way to get out of the Nakamura feud, and I hate how we're going to get this kind of mid-card feud now for whoever wants the mid-card. I don't even know who's going to challenge for the WWE Championship because it makes no sense of what's going to happen. Just, oh man, I am so heated beyond belief. I joked to my friend that I was going to cancel the WWE Network, and I still might because of how just, it's just so frustrating to me that it's so easy to book. It's so easy to see in everybody's head. Everybody sees it. I don't know if WWE just likes to throw a swerve just because, hell, we're WWE and we can throw a swerve whenever we want. But no, WWE, this isn't how you do it. The way you do it is to build compelling storylines with authentic wrestlers who know how to wrestle. Jinder Mahal, I would have no problem with if he was in the mid-card. I think the mid-card would have been perfect, and you build him up that way so he can get better at his wrestling moves, better at his promos, and better at just in-ring work in general. So, man. The way that Mahal won, garbage. Garbage. And I think this is just to troll the IWC community, and it's just a very poor taste. I don't know if Road Dogg is just, sticking it up to them. I mean, whether or not he's sticking up to them, just be above that. Do what you think is right for the storylines, but actually makes sense. Because Jinder winning makes no goddamn sense. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next match, shall we? So we had the Ziggler versus Rude match. Of course, Bobby Roode coming in with the glorious chants and the glorious ring attire. The thing that kind of sucked about this match was that the crowd was kind of dead for it just because of what happened between the Jinder Mahal thing earlier. So, I mean, that's what it is in terms of the match in general. But the Ziggler thing was kind of funny because what it was is that it looked like one of those things where you create a wrestler on 2K and you just forget to give him theme music, or you delete the one that you've been working on, so he just comes out to nothing. I thought that was pretty hilarious. And Dolph Ziggler rocking the ponytail. I mean, like a very braided ponytail. It was a little interesting look. I'd never seen that from him before. But before I get distracted by his hair, let's just talk about the match. It was a competitive match, still good. I thought the match sequence was really good, but it just sucked that it had to follow the Nakamura versus Mahal match, where the vampires that Mahal has sent out to the WWE Universe have drained all the life and blood out of the WWE Universe to give to him to win against Nakamura. So pretty much it was so lame. But basically what happened was that we got Little Caesar chants, which means that the crowd was still pissed from the last match and that they were bored. And the finish to this match was a tight pulling of the tights roll up, first by Dolph Ziggler, which got reversed by Bobby Roode, who did it himself. Then after the match, once Bobby Roode won, he got beat up a little bit by Dolph Ziggler. And that's pretty much it for that match. I mean, nothing really too much, nothing that I could really talk about, because just like the Nakamura Jinder Mahal match, it kind of sucked the energy that I just had to do this review. But we're going to gain this energy right back up with this Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon Hell in a Cell blood feud that went on today. This match was so great, and we're going to talk about a very surprising and very interesting thing that I have a theory of that we're going to be telling you on the Fusion Corp channel. But first, the fight starts out. They both come out to their entrances. They start fighting a little bit outside before the match even starts, throwing punches, fighting each other outside the ring. Then they get inside, and, they're fighting. They're just going right at it. The Kevin Owens psychology is great, especially to Shane McMahon's kids. I'm sure Shane McMahon's kids were in on the joke and in on this feud. So they were selling it perfectly. And basically Kevin Owens was just taunting him, saying that he should have been the role model. Why do you follow this guy? This guy's a loser, basically. And I kind of like that about it. I mean, Kevin Owens, like him or hate him just because of his body, which is very stupid, he is just a goddamn good psychological wrestler. I mean, he knows how to sell the match. He knows what he needs to do. So, no complaints with Kevin Owens whatsoever. This match was perfectly in his favor, so I enjoyed that very much. And basically, what happened was that it was another failed shooting star press from Shane McMahon, so it was crazy to see him try to attempt it again. I mean, it was crazy the first time because you didn't think he could do it. This time, of course, he does it with ease, and he can actually do it. And, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon are fighting a little bit, and then finally Shane McMahon gets Kevin Owens in the triangle chokehold, doesn't complete the whole count. Then we had the table spot, which the fans were crying about. They wanted that the whole time the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view was going on, and Kevin Owens gave it to him, but Shane McMahon dodges the table shot that he was going to take, and Kevin Owens is just laying there, Shane McMahon puts Kevin Owens in the coast-to-coast situation, gets it done. And the one thing I will say, and the thing that kind of threw me off in this match, and the one point I will give a down to, was the fact that Kevin Owens had his foot on the rope on a 3 count, and the ref decided not to count him out for some reason. Or he had a 1, 2, 3, but he had the rope, so the ref said no, it doesn't count. Which is a little weird to me, because if it's a fall counts anywhere match, that means basically it's a no. None of those rules apply in terms of the rope break. I mean, there shouldn't have been a rope break, so I'm a little bit confused about that. And that's the only hiccup in this match that I noticed, in my opinion. Nothing that is unbelievable, but they make up the rules as they go, pretty much. So we just got to live with the results of what happened there. And basically, what happened was that now they started fighting on the cell. Kevin Owens got Shane McMahon on the table. Then he decides to jump from the little barricade, but then he said, nah, we ain't doing this. We're going up to the Hell in a Cell. Once he was up there, he was contemplating so much. He was thinking, oh, should I jump? Oh, man, why am I such a baby about this? I need to jump. Why am I not jumping? So, of course, this led to more time, and Shane McMahon started climbing the Hell in a Cell cage as well. And basically what it led to was the two of them fighting on top of the cell. There was a little bit of not worry, but, anticipation that we were going to get one of them falling through the top of the Hell in a Cell, but instead it just turned out to be where Shane McMahon was holding on to the bottom, or he was holding on to the cage as he was going down because they were coming down from it. And basically, Kevin Owens was going down first. Shane McMahon comes on second, basically kicks him down, puts him on the table, and Shane McMahon climbs down, sees that Kevin Owens is dead. Then Shane McMahon decides to put Kevin Owens on the second table where the SmackDown ring announcers were. Then he's like, you know what? I'm pointing to the Hell in a Cell. We're jumping off of that. So, he's got to have his stuntman moment where he just jumps off the top of the Hell in a Cell. And once he's up top of there, he's looking down. He's getting ready to jump, says his prayers. I definitely said a prayer for him because, I don't want him to risk any injuries because that is a very dangerous spot. And lo and behold, what happened here was the most interesting thing of the whole night. besides the tag team titles, which, of course, is just awesome. But let's get back to what I was talking about. Sami Zayn, of all people, comes in, saves Kevin Owens from near death from Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon hits the table spot hard, barely breathing. He's still okay. He gave the thumbs up at the end of the match, but going to the point that we're at now, this was just, my God. Sami Zayn turned heel. This was a heel turn of the ages. I don't know if I'm going to say it's a heel turn because there's no way that Sami Zayn would help Kevin Owens after all the stuff they've been through NXT, through Ring of Honor, through even a little bit of the stuff on Raw. It was just ridiculous to see what happened. Goddamn, Sami Zayn with the heel turn of a century, something that swerved me. I was surprised and I thought, God damn, what? Like, how did this happen? My God. And, man, I was just so hyped. I'm losing my voice right now just talking about it, dude. It was so awesome. Sami Zayn is one of my favorite guys. I love his wrestling style. I love the haluva kick. I love the DDT that he does through the ring post. And, it's great to see that they finally decided to put some stock into him. This leads me to something else, and we'll get to it in a little bit. But going back to the match anyway. So Kevin Owens is laying down on the ground. Sami Zayn is just looking around the crowd, looking at Shane McMahon to see what he looks just shocked at what he just did. He can't even believe that he turned heel. He's just like, what did I just do? Holy, oh no, I so screwed up. But he shook out of it. He decides to, as Shane McMahon was getting attended to by the paramedics and the WWE staff, Sammy moves everybody out of the way, moves Kevin Owens on top of Shane McMahon since it's a fall counts anywhere match. 1, 2, 3, Kevin Owens is your winner. And this just sparks up a lot of interesting conversations that we could have here on the channel. A lot of them dealing with Sami Zayn turning heel, whether or not maybe they might be a tag team to challenge for the tag team titles. Although the Usos won, it would be interesting to see if they decide to team up. But it's probably more than likely going to be a Survivor Series thing where Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to be on the same team, fighting with each other this time. They usually fight against each other all the time, but this time they're going to fight with one another. And we're going to see them become best friends again, which is going to be a very interesting dynamic that we have yet to see on WWE. We only saw it for a little bit with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at NXT, but that led to a betrayal from Kevin Owens. So, we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. This is something that finally something SmackDown did right and something that we can be excited about, happy about, something that we look forward to, and that's going to be a Sami Zayn heel turn, and he's going to have to explain himself on Tuesday Night SmackDown what the hell he just did and why he did it. And by God, salute to Shane for taking that bump off the top. It's very hard. I couldn't imagine anybody doing it. It's just, I'm just always scared that someone's going to get really hurt from it, where they're going to break an arm, they're going to get some severe head trauma. I'm hoping that everybody's okay that has ever done that spot. But anyway, guys, this is already a 33-minute video. I've already said what I've needed to say. Other than that, I think Sami Zayn, maybe there might be a Survivor Series team. Maybe it's a tag team match. Or maybe we're going to see the KO show with Sami Zayn's help kind of run the show and see if he's able to take it over. Maybe Kevin Owens will start a faction with Sami Zayn and maybe some other wrestlers. We've yet to see what's going on there. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to be it for your Hell in a Cell review discussions. We don't do reviews on here. I know I keep calling it a review, but this is it for the discussion. If I had to give a grade on this, I would have to give it a... Oh, man, that WWE Championship match was so ugly. I'm going to have to knock it down quite a bit. I'm going to give it a B-, only because the two Hell in a Cell matches lived up and hype and delivered. It delivered perfectly. We had the swing from Sami Zayn. We had the Usos and the New Day with the psychology and the ring work there. That was amazing. And like I said, the Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens feud, we had Sami Zayn turning heel. And we're going to see where it goes on from here, guys. We're going to have to keep an eye out on these matches, and I'm hoping that we are just in for a long and successful ride, and I can't wait to talk to you guys a little bit later. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on Fusion Corp. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. please remember that we have a lot of more content coming out this week. We got another gimmick cast. We got more and more content on your head top. So please watch out for that stuff. And we are going to sign off here, guys. I'll holler at you later. Peace.